Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is P plus U number 78. We have done 78 of these things. That's super crazy. But more exciting than that, I don't know if you noticed my avatar, Therek, but it's an archive. I don't know if you noticed that.
You know what? I am fully aware of your archive nature.
And the moment that it popped on stream, Nathan and Therek can attest to this. The moment it popped on screen, I was like, "That's an archive."
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah.
He called it immediately. Like the second it popped, he was like, "That's an archive."
Yep. So I am
Draq
very
leveled up.
jazzed. I'm very excited to see. I believe that's the first actually what we could call like in-game type model that we've ever seen of an archive ever. All before this, it's all been concept art. So very very cool.
Yeah, and you guys also noticed that the animation they showed that was totally a paladin, right? Everybody.
The guy,
What,
the guy with the
what is it
shield.
about that makes you think that's a paladin animation, Nathan? I must ask.
It was the boxers. It was
I
definitely.
knew it. I knew it. I knew you were going to
It's
say that.
those boxers that gave it away.
I wanted to hear you
I
say
thought
it.
I thought maybe it was his walk.
Dude, I don't know. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that.
I thought it was the death animation, Nathan. I thought that's what it was.
Oh,
No,
But
that
maybe.
the guy frowning
they
while he was
switched-
crawling on the ground. That was definitely
They-
a paladin.
they definitely switched to a ranger for that shot.
So Joppa just clarifies in chat that wasn't actually an archive model; it was archive themed armor.
Right,
So
right,
you
right,
still get your credit.
Well-
Draq. Don't worry. You still get kudos.
All right,
But there was something about that model.
that looked very archive.
It looked a little beefier, didn't it?
It did.
Is it just my imagination? Now that
Yeah.
I know it's an archive, maybe.
It did. You're right. And I mean, they talked about it. They sort of led us to believe that with the gem on the center, which has some lore references.
It's
yeah.
early. It's early. It's fine.
And Joppa also corrected that the dropping dead animation was the Ronic class. So it's official.
Wait. We can play as Ronik? I have to change my whole expectation now.
Your thought process. All right. Well, that's what I liked and was excited about. Therek, what were you excited about?
Well, there's a lot to talk about in a relatively short stream. This was a 40-minute stream, but they showed a ton of stuff. So, where to begin? I think, boy, what do I want to talk about first? Yeah, you know what? I think the Hangor shots were really cool. You'll notice my background tonight is actually from the concept art that they released a couple months back of some Hangor concept art, and I think I like Hangor a lot. The more I see it, the more I like it. I like snowy biomes. It seems like a sort of multi-tier kind of area in terms of like the elevation is different in different places. I just like the look of it. I feel like it's going to be a fun place to have camps and sort of hang out and kill some orcs and do stuff there. And I feel like there's a lot of the lore bits to look around there too. So yeah, I think that was probably my favorite part of the stream, was seeing the new stuff from Hangor.
Very cool. Yeah. No, I loved, because we've gotten to see like the full progression, because we've seen Hangor in Gray Box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way
so-
back. Way
back.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we've seen super early. So to take it from all the way back there to where it is now, that's a super selling point, right? Of like, this game is here, it's happening. Like, it's not well, I don't even want to like mention those people because I just feel like I'm giving them airtime. But Nathan, what did you like about the stream?
I'm gonna have animation is always the most exciting thing for Pantheon for me, just because it adds so much to everything that you do. Like Minus was talking about, I mean, you're looking at these animations over and over and over again, right? And I know for a lot of people, they also say things like the graphics aren't good, when what they really mean to say is the animations aren't in the game yet. I've seen that a ton of times where it's like, you can't really argue these models look good. What you're seeing looks good. The lighting looks good. Everything looks good. What you really are saying is that the animations don't look good. And they just add so much weight to a game in the way that it feels and the way that it plays and everything. Animation is just so important. So seeing that they're coming along on that, and I like it. I did think the walk was a little, little too on the flirty side, to put it nicely. It looked like if I saw somebody walking at me like that, I would leave. I would be afraid that something bad was about to happen to me, and like they're so confident in it too, right? Right? Like, so, yeah, but everything else looked really good. The run animation I absolutely adored. I think the fall down where he grabbed himself and kind of fell down. I was just imagining like scenes like you're in a raid and that's the final guy. Everybody else is dead, and they're like, "You can do it!" And then the animation as he dies. So yeah, I'm super hyped about those. I can't wait to see more and see
One
him
of the
and see him in the game. I can't wait for.
Yeah, well, one of the interesting things that you're seeing it on the screen right now is the run animation that's currently in the game is being shown there, and we saw that in the fourth video. And then somebody mentioned it in chat, and that I was like, oh yeah, you can kind of compare with the new run animation and the old one, so you can kind of see how it's a little different, you know. I thought the animations were pretty cool. What I noticed about the animations that struck me, and this is a little detail, but the facial animations that sort of go along with what the character was doing, it's a small thing, but very noticeable. Like when the dual wielding swords really was probably my favorite of them, because that's what I'm going to be doing. That's a ranger all the way. So the facial animations while he was dual wielding, you know, just I really enjoyed that. And it's funny because I commented the last time they showed animations that I didn't really. I just thought it was like fluff, you know, like the facial animation when the guy put the axe on his shoulder and he's like smiling. I thought that was kind of like meh. But this actually had the exact opposite impact where I'm like, oh yeah, it totally actually adds to it. So I liked that a lot. Thought that was a neat little touch.
Hey Nathan,
Yeah.
I've got you at 200%. Is there the chat saying you're a little quiet?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's a thing when I come on Pantheon Plus for some
I'm
reason.
not trying to
I'll
mute
talk
you.
really
I
loud. I'll talk really loud.
Yeah, it sounds okay to me.
All right. You know, I was just thinking about too when you were talking about animations. One of the because I was a big EverQuest 2 guy, right? And when EverQuest 2 and WoW were being pitted against each other, right? One of the things that people loved about WoW was how good the animations were. The graphics were less than what EverQuest 2 was at the time.
Absolutely.
But the animations were sharp and they were crisp, and you felt like when you pushed that button, it did what you thought it was going to do. And that absolutely catapulted WoW over the top of EverQuest 2. So that's how
I agree with that. And I'll say this too, I'm not a big World of Warcraft fan, but they've kept up with that. Like over the years, the animations have always been incredible. And that's a big secret in World of Warcraft, because I believe that the reason people can still stomach the graphics, because it's hard for me to believe that, but I think it's because of the animations that they are totally okay with it. It keeps everything feeling alive.
Very smooth. Yes, it's a very smooth game. And you don't like really think about that when you go to play a game, but man, you can feel it. Like if I push a button, dude, we were playing Lotro the other day, and I push a button and nothing happens, and I'm like, what is going on? Like I don't know what's going on. It's really frustrating. So yeah. But this isn't just about what Nathan Therek and I think. This is about what the Pantheon community thinks, because we are a community show. And this is kind of like a radio talk show, right? You call in and you tell us what you thought, and then we kind of react to that and have a little conversation. So if you want to join the show, you need to join our Discord, and then you need to get yourself in the green room. And then Therek will pull you up. He'll tell you to unmute yourself, pull you up, and then you can come talk on the show with us. Do we got a full green room, Therek, or do I need to shame people?
No, it's looking pretty good. We got 5 folks in there right now, and I'm excited to talk to all of them. So I'm ready if you are.
Listen, don't be intimidated. We are super friendly. We want to hear from you. We love new people. Like if you've never come on the show before, we would love to hear from you. So yeah, just take a chance. Come in the green room. It's gonna be fun. I promise.
Yeah, I only bite on Cringe Pony TV, not on the show.
we keep Nathan sedated before the show starts.
Yeah, only Cringe Pony is unsedated, yes. Nathan.
Yes, that's correct.
Right on. Well, if we're ready to get started,
go for it.
Yeah, let's get Desert in here. I want to talk to Desert and see what he has to say. We're not going to make him the caboose tonight. We're going to bring in Des in right away because I feel like he's got a lot to say. So here we go. Desert.
Oh wow!
Wow!
First person.
Starting off with a heavy hitter.
Heavy hitter. That's right.
Heavy hitter. I don't know if I'll be so heavy today.
Oh, I want to know. I want to know.
We point out every single problem.
That's what we bring you on for.
Is it? I mean, I don't really want to start out that way. I kind of want to start out with some praises this time because, we were expecting some new art, and I was a little uneasy. Like, all right, are we getting art as in more concept art? Like, and then they just kind of hit it out of the park. We got that first set of sorry about that. The first set of Wild's End shots, and to my surprise, they didn't stop there. They just kept going. It was really cool that they just kind of kept adding stuff on, and I was pretty happy when they went through the Wild's End and then the armor sets. I was like, okay, and then they're like, oh no, animations. Oh no, also the building sets, and it's pretty good pacing.
I was actually surprised. Some of it's weird because at first I thought those building shots of the Throne Fasting architecture, I actually thought they were concept art for some reason. And it actually surprised me when they announced when they put out the announcement for the stream on Twitter, the piece that they used, I thought that was concept art too, but it's actually 3D models, which is kind of amazing that they look that good. I was very impressed. I was kind of wondering, did you notice why are all the buildings destroyed? Why are we, what's the destruction that's caused to these buildings? I thought that was a cool little touch that
if you remember, we were teased about that a while back, that we had some concept art about the broken building several months back.
Okay.
But this is kind of the culmination of that. And if I have one nitpick, which is something that Minus definitely, went over, was, this is work in progress still. These assets are in, but there's definitely still some more graphical touch-ups to be made. Is, a lot of the textures are very flat right now, right? Like they almost look too clean. Which they do overcome with some of the vines, and there's a little bit of rubble now, and I see them going in that direction, which makes me like almost not even want to point it out. If it wasn't also kind of a thing with the environmental shots. I loved the environmental shots they had overall, but especially when you get to the Hangor one, man, it gets busy. There's a lot of great textures, but it's almost like it's the same texture over and over and over and over again, and it gets really busy, and it's something I'm sure they'll clean up. But it was a mix of like, oh, this is awesome, but also, yeah, there's still a little bit of ways to go. But it was so good to see it in game again. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, lots of interesting stuff. I thought you were right about the busyness of the Hangor shots. I thought that too. You know what? There's actually old shots from pre-refactor that remind me of some of these shots too. I don't know if you know which ones I'm talking about, Des, but there was a shot of the White Gate. I believe it was the White Gate. Not the White Gate. What's the name of it? Anyway,
to the Rowans.
Yes, that place. That reminded me quite a bit of what we saw of the Hangor tonight. So I like that. And I don't say that as a criticism of it's from the past. I'm like, the vision hasn't changed. They're still, they still have the same vision for the game, but they've had to, they have had to rebuild it in a better way and in a way that allows them to build the game, right? So it's kind of a good thing that it looks similar to the way some screenshots.
Yeah, actually, since you brought that up, that's the first thought I had when I saw the giant ruins. Was this looks like something I saw back in 2015?
Right.
And I guess you could take that in a bad way, but it's also it's a little inspiring, because it's kind of like we're getting back to where we were, and we're gonna surpass it, Yeah. And so I was just so happy to see all this stuff, and as someone pointed out in the chat, that they are sticking, these things are looking very reminiscent to concept art, which is the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've said that before, but it bears repeating, right? Is they do a really good job of giving us the concept art, and then showing us what it is in game, and like you said, it looks very similar. And so I love that about what they do is showing us the concept art, and then later on down the road they show us the place and it looks like it, right? The details match up.
That's actually a thing that I wanted to point out too. Was there's a little tidbits of this, and this isn't a negative or anything, but it actually feels like we're starting to venture into a unique art style
I
for the
thought
world.
that too. I thought that too. Where it's
which
now
is
you can
exciting.
see it and you know this is a Pantheon shot, as opposed
Exactly.
to before you just was like it's some kind of MMO, you know. Now you can look at a shot for sure and be like, that's Pantheon. I think they could actually show us a shot of an area we've never seen before, just a screenshot.
What was that
If they
river?
showed it to us, we'd know. But I mean, if just put it out in the wild and we just found it on Google, and we'd be like, that's Pantheon, you know.
Dude, that sounds like
Yeah.
a fantastic dev stream. Like on the right, on the left, have people vote which one's Pantheon, which one's.
Man, I do wish we had some of the early Giant Ruins like footage though to compare. Nathan,
Funny
we
you
should do
should say
that.
that. I
Yeah.
pulled it up while the stream was going on because I wanted to see it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I
That
wanted to
thought
look at it.
that thought totally crossed my mind when I was like, I'm making a video about this and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a comparison. Like here's what they
Exactly.
were.
Well, if you look at the two, because like I looked it up too, because I didn't want to be completely talking out of my backside, but the old shot it gives me this vibe of like this like generic Unity indie project kind of look that's like kind of, it's not cell shaded, but it's like
Yeah.
kind of, you know, it's just a certain art style that I've seen like over and over and over again. And I was
Yeah.
a bit lamenting back then that like we were venturing into that instead of the concept art that we look at. And this is like that they're going back to what we're actually kind of expecting, and that's
Yeah, it's a good thing.
really exciting.
Really good.
But what do you think that river was in Wild's End? Was that was new, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that was exactly. Actually, I mean, I'd have to sort of go back and look at it a few times and maybe look at some of the big wide angle shots, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Ben and I can write us an article,
Yeah.
conspiracy theory article about the
Perfect.
river.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, since there's plenty more people to get to, thanks for getting me first this time,
You bet,
and
Des.
good
Yeah,
luck, everyone.
thanks. Talk to you later.
Bye,
dude.
Des.
Later.
All right. How about Sarah? Want to talk to Sarah?
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, unmute yourself. I'll drag you into the room as soon as you're unmuted. There. There we go. Hello, Sarah. How's it going?
Woo woo.
Cat is trying to be on the show right now.
Your cat's trying to be on the show.
My cat.
We accept all
Maybe-
species.
Maybe it heard Dez's dogs and is freaking out.
Wild up from the dogs.
He's excited about the animations too.
Yeah. Which ones were your cat's favorites?
My cat's favorites were the fighting animations and the dying animations. I mean, the walking and running looks good too, especially looking at the clip that Minus had in of like the old run. I feel like the old one was really pretty stiff and the new one is a lot smoother. Especially through like the shoulders and the hips. I feel like you can really see the difference, especially in like the fighting. You know, the hips and the shoulders are really doing a lot, even though it seems like they're not. And like it was Nathan was saying, or somebody was saying the face too, like it just adds so much personality. It really does. And like Draq was talking about the animations, or somebody, I might be saying completely wrong people, but somebody was talking about the WoW animations and how that's the reason why the game has lasted so long. And I agree with that 100%. Like I remember when I first logged into WoW and I was like, oh my God, look at how like realistic and lifelike this is, even though it's such a cartoony base. All of the little like details were what drew me into that game and why I played it for as long as I did. And Pantheon has so much more going for it than just that. And then
Right.
giving us like this level of personality also. Yeah, I'm super excited. And it's funny because that's like the main complaint we hear, right? Is like, oh, the graphics, blah, blah, blah. But like, guys, come on. That's we were talking about that in our Lotro stream earlier this week about how like don't paint the house before you have it built, guys. Come on, like they are building the house now and they're doing a really good job. The paint's gonna come, so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, don't freak out because you see a couple nails while the house is being built, right?
Right.
Like, that's how they do it. That's the way it works.
What did you say this week? Don't paint the plaster.
There you go. Yeah. Well, maybe I have the solution. Maybe, well, they said that they're still working on updating the graphics. Maybe that's the problem with some of the houses there. Maybe they're just not completed yet.
maybe. You know what? You know what it could be. Actually, I just realized maybe it was Fuzz Ruckus. Maybe Fuzz Ruckus.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Value.
He decided to take a bite.
Yeah, I think he's off his leash. I think that's a really good point. You know, you guys are all talking about the WoW animations, and I think it
You
really
guys
speaks
laughing?
to what the
Oh, what happened? I can't hear you.
We
what
can
am
hear
I muted?
you.
Oh, I can hear me.
I hear Therek.
Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
wait. Cat muted my computer.
of
Hi.
course, the cat did it. It's
This
always
is
the
a this is the live show, folks. So you don't get this
cat.
by just tuning in to any old podcast.
If you want cat muting, you're here in the right place.
Yep, that's happening right now.
I was just basically saying that the wisdom of the developers from, you know, knowing what made WoW so successful, and not from a gameplay standpoint, but just the little things like animations. It's really interesting to hear all of you sort of like, you know, unanimously agree that this is sort of the secret sauce that, you know, helped that game be so successful, right? So it's good
Yeah,
to see
I
that.
mean, if something is not only not broken, but if it's working, like, dude, don't copy it from the copyright standpoint, but like, do put it in the game, like, do it, like,
Yeah.
build off of that success and follow that same idea. Like, I know Joppa has a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild. That's because it was an excellent game and they did a
That's
lot of
right.
things right. So yeah,
That's right.
like, I'm totally happy to see that in Pantheon too.
And I'm such a fanboy that I played Breath of the Wild and I loved it. But when
Mhm.
Joppa talked about it, I went back and I replay it like once a year just because Mike Joppa played this game. He loved it. And it's
This
No, no.
is the inspiration.
so
No, no,
good.
no, no,
It's
no,
so
no, no,
good.
no, 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 no. Wait, Nathan, come on. You're only telling half the truth there. You buy the game on a different system once a year and then play it. And it's not that you just play the
Pokemon.
game
You
once
When
a
that's
year.
them all.
possible, I absolutely will. Because that will happen, and I will.
I also, every time I see new art, I'm always just like, "Ooh, can I climb that? Can I climb that?" And the answer is probably yes.
Mhm.
I'm really curious about now that we're seeing like the frozen, wintry areas. Like, are you gonna slip when you're climbing up the side of an icy cliff? Is that cliff? Is that gonna be a thing?
I got to tell you, that was probably one of my least favorite parts of Breath of the Wild was the slippery rocks when it was raining. Every time I needed to climb something, it was raining. I was like, "Come on, man.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
Come
That
on."
really is.
Every
That's why
time.
I would. Oh yeah, many curse words are still floating in this room.
You'd like try to time it up just perfectly to make that leap, and you'd never time it right. It was like a variable that always got you.
All right,
That was
I'll get out of here so other people can talk. Thanks,
awesome.
guys.
Thanks to
Yep,
Sarah.
thanks,
Later,
Sarah.
Sarah.
See ya. All right. How about Mr. Coddleshire? Mr. C
Mr.
has been a
C.
regular around these parts lately, so we gotta keep that up. So what's happening, Mr. Coddleshire?
Hey, how's it going?
He's just come
Going
on because
well.
he's angry at Dez for banning his chat earlier.
What?
Comment about, like, I said something along the lines of, like, hey, the Ronak class is going to have a hair gel slot in his gear. And that got banned. So I guess you can't talk bad about Ronak's hair gel.
Got banned.
Hey, magic move. You do not mess
Careful.
with magic move.
Just because you
Des
broke
and Ronak.
NDA.
Des and Ronak, they're tight.
NDA.
Oh, yeah,
That's
it was NDA. You're right. It was
That's
NDA.
that's NDA. Yeah.
NDA here. Oh boy. So what's on your mind, Mr. C, other than Ronak's hair? Anything from the stream that you wanted to shout out?
I was refreshed seeing I don't know the name. I'm not like a lot of the other people where it's like, oh, that little pixel, that's this place.
I'm with you, man.
I was refreshed to see the new snowy ice place because we've been seeing a lot of sunny, grassy area, and it's like, oh wow, this is here. I forgot about that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
so
agree with
so
that,
that's
yeah.
Hangor. That's what we've been talking about. The snowy area is Hangor. And it is nice to see a new biome. Change it up a little bit. And the other thing that they said about Hangor being further along in development now is that it opens up AVP again. So Hangor is in Avenir's Pass, and this, that zone has been available in previous pre-alpha tests, and so hopefully that means it's coming back to pre-alpha testing sooner rather than later, because I think we're all sort of we have a hunger for a little bit.
Did you notice how they kind of sidestepped whether they said we'll be back soon, and they sidestepped the whole like, will it be in the next one? Will it not be in the next one? They definitely did not commit to anything there.
Yeah,
No.
I was a little disappointed in that. I wanted them to say, no, it's coming to the next one right now, and then have it get delayed to the next one.
Yeah. No, it would be nice. It would definitely be nice, but we'll see it when we see it, I guess. So maybe in
We'll
September.
be in September.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about September.
That moment in the stream was pretty epic, I gotta
That was
say.
the best. That was the best.
I was a little worried, like, hold on, did I miss something?
We all did like triple takes. We're like, what?
It's February, right? Okay, yeah, it's February. We're good.
Yeah, time warp of some sort. So yeah, that's good stuff. Anything else? What else grabbed you?
I want to say also the animations are nice. Can't wait to see them, with armor and good-looking weapons and hair.
Yes.
But
Who needs
I
hair?
have you
Minus.
minus apparently not.
No.
I was wondering, obviously not now, but I wonder if by release, if each race will have different attack animations.
I don't know. My immediate reaction would be to say no. Based on them being, I think the Scar obviously will need to, being so different overall as a model. But
I think just the base model being different, I would assume they're obviously gonna have to tweak the animations. So I think from our standpoint as a player, the animations will look different because they've been tweaked to fit that model, I would assume. It's hard to say that for sure because we haven't seen all the final models or anything, but I just can't help but think that with how different things like the Scar are, etc., that it's not going to at least appear, even if it's overall mostly the same animations, the tweaking will make it seem a little different. That would be my guess.
I feel like asking for separate animations for every race is asking a lot.
Yeah,
I feel that way
I'm more in the let's get this game out to the camp, but I do
believe
think
me.
but I think you're right. I think it will seem that way, even if it's just tweaking a bit.
Do we know any
their
other
arms are
MMO
longer or
that's done
whatever.
that?
WoW. WoW has. I know Night Elves. They have like a more
That's
like
true.
floaty
Oh,
attack
interesting. I
animation.
didn't know
than
that.
Humans are more like direct. That's kind of why I thought, because you brought up WoW animations, and that kind of reminded me of that.
I've never noticed that.
It'll be cool. It'll be cool if like ogres have like a more like crazier attack animation or like a more brutal attack animation. But at the end of the day, I just want the game to be done and I want to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. After seeing all this stuff tonight, I'm just dying to get in there. And play
Rancid Turnip says EverQuest. That must be later EverQuest because in Valius they all had the same attack animations.
That's as far as I ever play.
That's as far as I go.
That's as far as I go, baby.
Living in the past, man. Living in the
We don't talk about Luckland.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We do not. That's a
Rebellious.
dirty word here.
Those are great points, though. I think you're on track with a lot of those, and it's a good question. Something that maybe they can address in a future dev stream or something.
When bards come out, maybe they'll address it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bard first, and then racial animations next.
I'm gonna go ahead and do this for Joppa.
Whoa.
Exactly. Right on. Anything else from you, Mr. C?
That should do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on as always. Don't be a stranger.
Always a pleasure.
Later,
Okay,
man.
See you, dude.
All right. Let's talk to Fate. We just finished our MMORPG 201 stream tonight, where we were playing Lotro, and me and my group mates, and Fate being one of them. So let's bring Fate on. Hey, Fate. Long time no talk.
Yeah, all of an hour.
Yeah, all of an hour.
In for the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Committed to the cause. So what did you think of the dev stream?
Really good. Too short. Way too short. I needed to show more.
Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of a short and sweet fan. I feel like sometimes just give us the goods, and that's what we got. And it was like, as long as it was all there, as long as there was enough there, I feel like it was okay. So I'm kind of okay with the.
Yeah, no, it was short, but it was dense. It was a lot. Like they showed us like how many different houses and 3-4 zones, or I should say 4 like points of interest, I think, in the town. and everything like that. So it's pretty dense, very nice. Speaking of points of interest, I did want to so Des like challenged us to put our thought as to where that river was. And I was talking about it in chat a little bit, but I actually pulled up Ben and I's Wilds and the Gray Box stream. Did a big write up on the Gray Box stream for Wild's End, and I was pulling that out and making comparisons. And I'm pretty sure that that river at the beginning is the very southern edge of the Mad Moors, looking south to the tip of the southern peninsula of Wild's End. So
Wow, that's
Nice,
amazing.
dude.
Good job. That's incredible. That is some expert eagle eye stuff. I love that kind of stuff. And that's why, when Ben and I does those kinds of articles, I'm like, remember he did the one of Throne Fast where he like the overlay of the lion's head on top of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a very good because he pulled out the exact screenshot that I needed where it was like looking south across the whole peninsula from the very top of the
yeah,
zone.
yeah.
And you can see in the river, when you're looking through the river, you can see in the distance a tall peak, and then right next to it a little shorter peak, and then you can just barely see another short peak a little bit further to the left of that, which is exactly what you can see in the gray box.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna look at it a little closer now. I'm gonna
hmm
go back and take another
Yeah,
look with that.
that's my guess that like it could be also looking in a slightly different direction, but that's my guess as to what that is.
Mhm.
Um,
Very,
but
very.
did you catch the beans from Joppa in the chat? Because he dropped some small little
No, I don't
beans.
think so. What did you see?
He mentioned it again, sort of mentioned it again here in the P plus U chat, but the Archai armor, he said it was not Archai exclusive.
All right.
It's Archai armor, but it's not like
Oh.
race armor.
Ah,
So
And then
humans could wear it.
I said, oh, so is it? I asked him if it was faction armor. He didn't confirm that, but he just said that there will be faction armor.
Oh.
ooh, that's
Very
cool.
cool.
So if you go to the Pantheon MMO website and look at the Archive race page, look at
Mhm.
the armor that they're wearing. It's exactly what they showed, right? Like it's got the
Mhm.
center, the gem in the middle. It's exactly what it is. It looks, and they talked about this on like last month. They said the stuff they were working on was based on the racial armor from the website,
Mhm.
and
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That
like
makes sense,
it's.
actually. Yeah.
And we talked about it on the rewind. We were sort of speculating, like, which one do you think it would be? Like Desert and I were saying, like, is it the Archai? Is it something from the elves? I was, blissfully hoping it was the elven stuff, but it's not. It was the Archai. So but like, that's a great pickup though, Fate. Like, saying that Joppa
Mhm.
says this isn't specifically Archai armor. It's Archai can wear it, but it's not specifically for them.
Mhm.
So
Or only
really
for
cool.
them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna run around and just beat people in the head and be like, "You're not an Archai. You can't wear that."
So it does make me wonder the like human plate armor that's like I
Mhm.
don't know if it's cleric or paladin armor or something like that. Could you see like some Darkmer sporting that armor if they get their Thronefast faction up, or
I could.
see
They
some
they better be able to.
see some Scar monks in the Archai armor?
Ooh, Scar monks in the Archive. You're opening up all kinds of.
Well,
Chuffus
I
said
don't know if you
yes.
think about the lore though. A Scar wearing Archai would be more okay than an Archai wearing the scars, because Archai probably don't have any body stink. They're rocky, But I would assume the Scar probably stink pretty bad.
Yeah,
I don't think bathing is like probably not very far high up in their priority list. I wouldn't think.
I would agree. Yeah, it's sort of like a one-way street. Like it goes one way, it doesn't go the other way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's great though. Great pickups there, Fate.
Mhm.
Anything else from the stream that you wanted to mention?
No, I think everybody's like grabbed it. It was very dense. The all those human buildings. It's very that'll be great to just like scatter them all over the place. It's nice to see them do those modular buildings at the beginning, and for them to show off how quickly they can make a bunch of different looking buildings
Mm-hmm.
from those modular pieces, and
Yeah.
how quickly they can make a realistic looking town without having to do like cookie cutter buildings.
Yeah, it'll look nice when it's all placed and it's all finished. And I think that was nice that they demoed sort of at the end, like here's in game what you should expect to see. If you haven't watched, some of the PA streams or experienced it yourself, you got a sense of it, and it feels good, like it feels good. And I like that they had the music to go along with it. That music is very, very emotive.
Classic.
Classic. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I actually hadn't heard some of that music before. I guess it's been around for a while, but I don't remember having heard it before. Or I guess or if I have, it's been quite a while. But I'm definitely enjoying that music.
Yeah, I like that they put it with all the videos tonight, all the music pieces. I think their musical stuff is just top notch. So glad to have that.
Yeah, we got to talk about Joppa just dropped
chat.
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead. Perfect.
Yeah, he's kind of confirming what we were saying, that definitely going to be able to get that faction and get that faction armor.
That is cool, man. That is cool. I enjoy that. Looking forward to getting to see that when it can be in game and doable. So that's good stuff.
Yeah, just make sure Sparrow's not in town. She's
listen. Sparrow wants everyone to know that her Scar Ranger bathes. Okay.
He said train them if you don't like them. Sparrow's just doing what she was told.
That'll definitely be a nice mark of pride, though, for people that like play the like quote unquote evil races, but they're running around with the dwarf armor or human armor. Or
dude, I'm going the other way. I'm gonna be the archive that goes over and hangs out with the Scar.
Nice, awesome. Well, good talking to you, Fate, and great stuff from the observations from the stream. And we'll talk again soon. Okay, see ya.
Have a good night.
Later, Fate.
See you, man.
All right, let's go with Man of Rohan, who's been in the green room for a while now, so we don't want to leave him in there. I know I stole one of his questions from earlier, or one of his observations, so I have a little guilt, but we'll see what he has to say. So, Man of Rohan, what did I steal? What observation of yours did I steal? Oh, where's Man of Rohan?
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Was it your cat?
I had no cat.
Parakeet.
I have a bunny, and she's in her cage. So
Yeah.
I do. She's a wild animal still, so she stays in the cage. So yeah, I just had a couple of things, and I wanted to talk about the buildings. I mean, we haven't talked about them that much, but the sheer volume of them and variation was great. It was, I'm not in their testing, so I haven't been able to see any of that. So hopefully the testers have and been able to experience them being laid around. But this little video at the end was cool, and I think we've seen some of that before. But and frankly, they look a little whiter in game than they do in the model that when they're by themselves. But it's probably because the background is so white. But just something that we haven't talked about is the kit, the building kits that have been designed, and look at all the variation that can happen there. I think it's excellent. So the pieces that they've made, I think they're infinitely, well, not actually infinitely, but there's a lot of variation that they can do there, and just obviously it seems to me that they would do that with the rest of the work. So I'm looking forward to see just the volume continue to grow, because now that they have those modular sets, they're just proving we have these sets. We can start building a whole bunch of crap.
Right.
So,
yeah, I agree. The variation is what really strikes me. Some of the houses being like 2 stories. Some of the way that they've just the way that they can use them in different ways, angles, elevation. It sets the town, it makes the town feel alive, like it makes it feel lived in, and like there's, it's just good design. So I think we saw that in the video they showed. And like I said before, on some of the co-streams, you've seen it as well. And I think it's coming around. I think it's shaping up really nicely.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's, like I mentioned at some point, that's the kind of thing that we need. We need those as followers of the game and as trying to continue the excitement and continue the investment, emotional energy and whatever, we need to start seeing things that are more concrete. And I think that tonight is a great step towards that.
Yeah.
Seeing the animation, seeing that the sword play looked really good to me. Like it looked nice and fluid. It looked like someone actually swinging a sword and not something really clunky, And I haven't seen much of the clunky, but I thought it worked really well. So I'm sure that they will be continuing to tweak as they're working on and continuing to go. So I have perfect faith in them to do that. So I'm very excited about that as well.
Yeah, lots of hard work from both they credited Duarte and Tara on the animation work, and that was something that we heard about late last year in December, I think was their stream when they updated this. And then in the buildings they said a lot of Leo's work. So one of the newer concept artists, one of the artists anyway, I can't remember modeling artists what their exact title is, but yeah, lots of hard work being put in and lots of output. So that's good. It's a good thing.
Lots of swagger in these walks. I agree. There's some forces that are leading them.
There's some energy.
This is before they go into the dungeon, not after.
Yeah. You don't walk out of the dungeon
after their dreams are crushed.
Well, we saw the death crawl. The near death crawl.
Although you will be walking out of the dungeon naked, perhaps, because you've died and lost all your stuff. So maybe this is like an accurate representation.
Those orange underwear with the yellow bands. Let's go.
That's
Those are a little too modern. I think we need to get some sort of loincloth instead of the orange briefs.
There's a lot of movement there for a loincloth.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I take it back. But also, we haven't talked a lot about the giant ruins. I mean, we did a little bit, but I was excited to see how spiral they were around that rocky hill. When we saw them before, when I remember, they kind of were just set there, and then it was up against rock. But then you saw them kind of move around to the top, and it was really good to see. And I saw a lot of jumping areas, so and ways to traverse that are going to be for much smaller beings that aren't giants are going to have to figure out how to traverse those.
Yes.
And then also all the moss. Like, is it? What I was imagining, I thought was cool was, I wonder what the weather is going to be like up there. As maybe mist is rolling in all the time, and that's why it's so green and mossy on those rocks. And maybe those are more slippery, so it's harder to climb them, like in Breath of the Wild when it's wet.
Yeah, if you remember from the last the Galdassi giant ruins stream, it is right beside the ocean, right? Remember they showed us looking out onto the ocean there in that stream. So it would be there would be some moisture in the air for sure. I agree with you. The spiral stuff is cool, and one of the things I noticed is that there's actually humans. There's characters on the rocks for scale. Bronek talked about it, the scale being impressive, and I agree with him that they did a good job of showing the scale of the ruins again. So
I think the blood of adventurers makes the moss grow. Personally,
there will be a lot. There's so many places looking in there to fight. I'm having a lot of imagining, so it's good.
That's the sign of a good design
for sure. Places to fight, places to adventure. So, and then the last thing that I wanted to say, and this is my personal request to VR, is I'm looking at the rock textures and the ground textures and the trees and everything here, and I'm all in understanding that there is still going to be lots of tweaking and lots of any of that, and it's coming along, and I'm in for the ride. I'm cool, but I think perhaps as we're getting closer to a larger audience seeing more of this, I think it would probably be good to take a very small area, and I know this takes time, but a very small area, and say this is the representation of where we want to end. Where we're planning to end. Like this is what the grass is going to look like. This is what the rocks are going to look like. Weathered and whatever. This is what the buildings are going to look like in this very small area. and as a presentation to say, hey, for all of you who are keep coming up with these, to me, frankly, boring questions of look at the grass, it looks so flat underneath the other grass textures. You know, there there are so many. So I got distracted by a question, by a comment in the chat. Sorry. About pants and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, I
but
started
yeah,
that.
if you,
My bad.
if we were able to see that, or if people were able to see that, I think that would be not another Project Fairthale. Good God, no, that would
Yeah, not that.
that's
Not
way too
that.
big. You know, a
Yeah.
very small, and just say this is a representation of where we're going. So everyone who doesn't have as much faith as me or others can just get a taste of we know where they're going, because they haven't had the time to build that faith, and they haven't had the energy maybe. So that's just my thought on some sort of way to market it better, because all of this looks great, and I know it's going to get even better.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that aren't ready to make that jump. So
I think that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea, and there's
Well,
very little.
I
that
I
for.
would say this though about that. I feel like right now, I feel like that's like a goal they need to hit during beta when they're trying to build a ton of hype, right? When they want
Mhm.
brand fresh new eyes on it and to realize the general release date or something like that. Which at that point will be so much further along. I don't know by then if they'll need to do that because it probably will look just fine by then. But yeah, I think that would be good. I would love to see that for sure, personally. But I'm just thinking of it from their point of view, from a business perspective. I'm not 100% sure that's necessary now, but it could be. It would definitely, turn some heads.
Right, and the time invested is certainly, I would rather them be making the game. You know, certain from my point of view. Um, I totally get that, and it may, and I don't think it needs to happen right now, this moment. You know, right. Let's get into regular alpha, right? At that point, and then have something like that, and maybe they're already planning that. You know, that's just what I'm thinking. You know, I've delivered a lot of software in my life, and if we're going to or if we, like, I'm on it, hey guys, this is what we should do next. No, if you know,
Yeah.
if they're going to continue to market this and ramp up the marketing, you know, you need to be
Yes.
having a consistent message and a strong message to everyone out there who just doesn't know enough about it to really invest
That's a good
to
point.
catch them. You know, so
Yeah, that's a good
anyway,
point. Yep. Yeah.
that's
Very well
it.
said.
There are
Yeah.
more
We all
folks.
know that. We all know that. Like let's just call them normies, okay? The
Sure.
normies.
Normies.
The normies sometimes randomly find a video that is not showing the graphics, and they judge the graphics. So yeah, you never know when that opportunity is going to hit.
Yeah.
Yep. Normies with still the #1 video on YouTube.
And that's the end of Men of Rohan's time on Pantheon Plus YouTube. Just kidding. That's awesome, though. I really like that idea too. I think it's well
Yep.
thought out. So appreciate that.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. I know that I don't want to take too much more time because we got more folks. So
Yeah.
see you
Thanks,
later.
man. Talk to you later.
Before we pull the next guest in, we would be remiss if we did not do a little Pantheon sea shanty in honor of Man Rohan. So if you are not subscribed to his YouTube channel, you need to be. Do it today, right now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Because if you don't do it, then I spit upon your face. Okay. So go ahead.
Soon may the Pantheon come to bring us friends and MMO fun. One day when the beta is done, we'll all log in and go.
Yes. Yes. That hook at the end, man.
Very
was
good.
Powerful.
Killer.
Powerful. Dude. All right. Well, following up that is a tough call, but we are going to go to, let's see, who are we going to Sparrow.
Dude,
in the green room.
The green room is bringing it strong tonight.
Yeah,
Well, Sparrow. This is a new person.
I think they might be a Scar Ranger.
She might be a Scar Ranger. I think that's what she
We'll
plays.
have to ask.
Maybe
Do
We'll
we
have
all
to
remember
ask.
how to speak Scar? So let's see what we can do. Hello, Scar Ranger. How's it going?
Oh my gosh, you guys are so mean.
Sparrow, it's so nice to hear your voice. I've always wondered what you sounded like. I feel like,
Yeah,
you know.
It's been ages, I know.
we never see her talk to her or anything like that.
Yeah,
Right,
no.
right. I'm shy.
Yeah, clearly you're shy. You're
Clearly.
such an introvert.
I actually had a question I was hoping you guys could answer. So that mountainy area with the bridges and it looks very rocky. There's not much relief to it yet. Is that what we saw before in the concept art? And it had all the water. And it said you could like swim and climb, and they
Yeah,
had waterfalls. So soon, hopefully, we'd be able to see different water and things. I thought that would look really cool.
yeah. You know, it's funny you should say that. When I pulled up the footage from when they showed the Galdassi ruins, that concept art piece. Are you talking about the one that has like the red sort of outline? Remember they showed it as like it's a
Mhm.
flare. Yeah, that's the piece. I'm looking at it right now, and it's definitely the same thing. So this concept art is titled Wild's End Gate Mountaintop, a lagoon, is what it's called.
Lagoon.
So there was a lagoon at the bottom of that, and maybe that's what we were seeing. And I don't think so. I think Fate was actually probably right about the being closer to the Madmore, but maybe that was part of it. But it's definitely the same area from that concept art piece. The arches on the sort of big temple-y part there. So
Yeah,
yeah.
when you went in the temple, wasn't there like this water area that went up
Yeah.
and down?
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were talking about, or maybe we just speculated. I can't remember if they talked about it or they speculated like there was levers you pull to like get different places so you can swim up, swim down, that type of thing.
I think we
Yeah.
made that up.
Oh, did we make that?
They
That
say
was just in our minds.
It gets
I
a
think
little
it was
confusing. It
total-
gets a little confusing over time.
Totally a thing.
At this point, that should be expected. We've talked about this game so much that we've just made stuff up that's become reality.
It feels like that does happen
Yeah,
sometimes.
it does happen sometimes. No, but like
Yeah.
that inside of the gate, you're right. And that I think that discussion stemmed from like a Zelda discussion, right? Because that was like
Sure.
a puzzle room in Zelda sort of thing, is what we were thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that inside of there, that's the gate, right? So
Yeah, and I thought I remembered, I'll have to take a look at the art, but on the outside, it even had like almost these giant troughs that went around the different sides, and there was leaking. They had water, almost like waterfalls and things.
mhm. yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's come like a long way. It's interesting to
Mhm.
see the texturing. Like you said, there's a lot of interesting details on it now.
Oh my gosh, this Scar
Hey,
thing's getting out of
Hey,
hand,
I don't know
folks.
if you saw in chat, but Minus has said Sparrow stands for Scar Pantheon Antagonist Ranger of Horror.
Ranger of Horror.
I love it. We finally cracked the
Wow.
code.
That's
cracked the
epic.
code.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to get all the good Rangers to sign a petition. No Scar allowed.
Oh,
We stand
Sparrow,
in solidarity.
we gotta turn this table around. Otherwise, Sparrow's not gonna be able to enjoy the game. There's gonna be like every Star Ranger ever gonna be following her around. We gotta
Well-
somehow flip this.
No,
So
Day one, we just all make level 1 Scar Rangers and then just like
Oh
move
my
them
gosh.
over to the elf area.
Sparrow's gonna end
Brutal.
up not playing on our server because of these shenanigans.
I'm
She's gonna be anonymous and stuff.
Nonsense.
I'm just going to make sure if they're Scar Rangers, they'll be Scar Paladins. And then we'll see how it feels.
There you go. Look at it.
Hey,
Bringing
now
the
listen,
fire.
there's no reason to attack me. I am very anti-Scar Ranger too. I'll make that clear. I think that's weird. I don't like Scar. I'm glad
we're
they're in
all-
the game, but I don't like them.
We're all anti-Scar Ranger, but we're just pro teasing Sparrow. So
Yeah.
It's 100%
you can be
true.
both. Both things can be true, right?
Fair. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Summoner
Scar
it
Paladins.
is.
Summoner it is. He's abandoned the Ranger cause altogether.
Well, thanks, guys. I had great stream and having
Right on.
lots of fun.
That's lots of fun. Thanks, Sparrow.
Yeah, thanks, Sparrow.
See ya. All right, folks. That is our green room. I think we've talked to everybody that's been in the green room. So good stuff.
Very cool. We have a request for PA Maybe. So
Ooh.
we'll
Yeah,
play
yeah.
that on the way out. But before we do that, Therek, you got anything going on this week?
Well, as always, Sunday noon Eastern on our YouTube channel, Pantheon YouTube. We have our weekly Pantheon podcast where we talk about the week that was in the news and notes of Pantheon, all this stuff. Me and Desiree go through it all. We're also focusing on fan fiction now. So we're reading fan fiction. We read a piece from Fate, and I'm going to announce we have the piece that's coming up this weekend is from our friend Wizen, who has done some fan fiction that's really, really fun. It's like a letter to like an elven letter. It's really fun to read. Looking forward to presenting that on the Rewind. So thanks to Wizen for letting us show off some of his work. And I think that is it for me. So yeah.
Mr. Nathan Napalm.
Yeah, see, tomorrow night we'll be doing some EverQuest P99 with Sparrow and Bounty and whoever else wants to join us in the community. And then Saturday night is Cringe Pony, which is going to be MMO Cop movie 1.5. So it's half of the Cringe Pony is MMO Cop. And yeah, that's what I got going on. Lots of sleepless days ahead, and tons of content for the good old Hogwarts.
What Nathan's not telling you is he hasn't slept in the last 6 days. He is officially a zombie at this point.
Yeah, I did sleep. I don't remember. Draq asked, and I told him like I did sleep. Whatever that was.
You said 3 hours at the time.
Yeah, I think that was Tuesday night.
Because I was concerned that he was going to pass out on the show tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm good, man.
And we're not 100% sure that Nathan isn't chat AI.
Yeah, I'm completely powered by Chat GPT.
Nice.
Well, I feel like spilling a little beans. Therek, you mind if I spill a little beans?
Spill away, my man.
All right. So last year, if you'll remember, for the month of March, we did the MMO March Madness, and we all voted on our favorite MMOs. Well, we did that. EverQuest won. Shocking, I know.
Shocking.
Yeah, what a surprise.
but we are bringing it back, and we are bringing it back with races and classes. So there are 32 race class combinations that will be voted on, one every day in the month of March. And this year we're also doing brackets. So you can fill out a bracket ahead of time, and if you win the bracket, there's going to be some prizes. So it's going to be super fun. And so we're going to roll that out in the next week or so. It's going to be super fun. And yes, as people are asking about Scar Ranger, it will be pitted against the Elf Ranger in the first round.
Oh, come on. No, you can't do that.
Don't do that. Hold on. We haven't discussed
that's not fair.
Looking this up on the fly
People
here.
will troll the Scar Ranger.
We need to have a Pantheon Plus meeting about this, Draq.
You can't do
Schedule
that.
something.
What was the game
Sorry.
you pitted against EverQuest that was a good game, like first round?
I don't
last
remember.
year?
It's been so
No,
long.
it was. I think it was like Lotro or something. He put
Yeah,
up
it's like,
Lotro
come
against
on.
EverQuest.
That's
I'm like,
not fair.
come on, put Lotro up against Bless or something. Give it a chance.
Let's
Let it get a few rounds deep.
Oh boy, I love this time of year, Draq, so much. I love our March Madness events. They are the best.
Yes. So to do the March Madness, you have to be in the Discord to vote on stuff, and also to turn in a bracket to win prizes. So make sure you're in the Discord to be a part of that. All right, we're gonna hit the PA maybe, and we're gonna hit the outro, and then I'm gonna raid El Jefe, who's an EverQuest streamer. I'm actually trying to get a schedule with him on maybe possibly talking a little Pantheon with him. So
Awesome.
make sure you support him. He's a really good streamer. All right, everybody, wave bye-bye to the people.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my money, so PA maybe, it's hard to wait for you, but baby, here's my money, so PA maybe.
Bye-bye.
Meow.